Well, today, crime was the focus for law enforcement agencies across the state, specifically gang violence and other security threats.
The goal was to learn the latest trends and strategies to fight those threats at a special conference in Grove City. 10 TV's Doug Petcash joins us tonight live with the key message that was delivered today. Doug.
Yeah, collaboration and cooperation, guys. Governor Mike DeWine says gangs and hate groups are operating in our communities and in our prisons. So it's really important for law enforcement to work together to share intel and keep the lines of communication open. And other law enforcement leaders agree.
Whether it's coming from the border, whether it's coming from our prisons, whether it's coming from gangs in our streets, we are at risk for violent crime.
That's why Ohio Department of Public Safety Director Andy Wilson says Monday's Corrections and Law Enforcement Security Threat Group Conference is so important. It brings together a wide swath of law enforcement, corrections officers, and prosecutors to learn the trends and strategies to fight gang violence, drug cartel activity, domestic terrorism, and other security threats in the state. He put up parole officers as an example of a key cog in the crime-fighting system.
They have the direct link into the prison. They work for DRC, but they're also out in the communities, and they work with the local law enforcement in the communities.
Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections Director Annette Chambers Smith oversees a state prison system where she says 71% of inmates are convicted of violent crimes and where gangs and drug smuggling are constant concerns.
So something like this will cause us all to get together, learn what each of us knows, learn what intel we all have, and help grow those networks that make us stronger in terms of trying to fight this type of crime.
The violent crimes are committed by a relatively small number of our criminal element.
Governor Mike DeWine says targeting them is critical. The state now has collaborative weapons to do that. The Ohio Narcotics Intelligence Center, which works to disrupt the illegal drug market. The Crime Gun Intelligence Center, which focuses on gun violence in local communities. And law enforcement surge operations, where state highway patrol, parole officers, and liquor control surge into communities to help local law enforcement.
The results we've seen is we've been able to capture guns. We've been able to get felons who are not supposed to have guns, but who are found with guns. We've been able to lock them back up.
Governor DeWine says the state hasn't had a conference like this in 20 years or more, and it was time. He says the state plans to have more of them so law enforcement can keep collaborating and networking. Live in Columbus, Doug Petcash, 10 TV News.